If you just got your new iPhone 17 Pro Max and you're on the hunt for a case that looks stylish and provides protection, you should check out the Q3 Air and Q3 silicone cases from TORRAS. They're fairly lightweight, easy to install, they have great drop protection, a built-in kickstand that rotates 360 degrees for vertical and horizontal viewing, a strong magnetic hold for Magsafe charging and using Magsafe accessories, and you can even swap the button colors. However, there is one drawback, so let's take a closer look, and a big thanks to TORRAS for sending this out for review. In the Q3 silicone box, we have the case and manual, and in the Q3 Air box, we have the case, manual, and replacement buttons. The design of the Q3 Air case looks really fantastic. There's just a lot going on. Now, this is coming in at roughly 53 grams, so fairly lightweight. And you can see if I put my fingers here, we have a frosted type of case back, so you can actually see through the phone's actual rear color. Now, if we take a look at the rear, we have a large camera bezel here, so a huge cutout along with the TORRAS logo. And then we have that 360-degree built-in kickstand. And you can hear that has audible clicks as you rotate it. And then we also have kind of some little accent or element pieces here to help with grip. Now, if we look at the right side, so we do have the power button, again with this type of rubberized grip material. And then we also have the camera/shutter button. There's also air cushion corners. You can see it go all the way around the case to help with kind of corner impacts. And then at the bottom, we have huge cutouts for the speaker grill, USB-C port. And then we also have buttons on the other side as well. This is what the interior of the case looks like, and you can see we actually have some fairly large front bezels to provide protection to the screen. This is what the blue version of the Q3 Air case looks like. The Q3 silicone case also comes in at around 53 grams. We also have that huge rear camera bezel with the TORRAS logo. Again, we have that 360-degree rotating kickstand, and then we also have these kind of diagonal patterns here that actually add a little bit of uniqueness to the case, so it's not just plain. At the very bottom, we have cutouts for the speaker grill, USB-C port. Again, we have buttons on the right side and left side as well. And these do seem to be a kind of, like aluminum button with an anodized coating. So it does have, a little bit of texture there. And then on the inside, which the other case doesn't have, we have this kind of velvet lined material. So this is gonna protect the rear of your phone when it's in here. And if I do a smudge test, so I'll just run my fingerprints along both of the cases. And just looking at these in person, it's really not showing much in the way of oils or smudges. That's pretty impressive. And this dark blue Q3 silicone case just looks so sharp on the iPhone 17 Pro Max, especially with the silver color. It just contrasts really nice. And this actually has a really good hand feel. It's a super grippy case. It's kind of this, rubberized type of finish. It's made of PC silicone and of course microfiber. And you can see I could just go ahead, rotate this in my hand, just kind of flip it. I have extreme grip due to the finish on here. Installing the case is really easy, so you'll just start in the top corners with the camera module, just press in on all of the corners, and you're done in a matter of seconds. Looking at the rear camera module, you could see that the rear camera bezel protector extends enough so that if you place this flat down, the camera lenses will not be scratched in any way. Note that the proximity of the rear camera bezel to the lens means you probably won't be able to install any lens protectors. The buttons still remain very responsive. I could do volume up, volume down, and use the ringer/quick action button. And then on the other side, of course, I could turn the screen off or just double click the camera button to launch the camera and go ahead and take photos. You can see everything is very responsive. The bottom cutouts are also perfectly done. Nothing is obstructing the speaker grill or USB Type-C port. The front bezel is fairly thick, and you can see if I do a side view, it actually extends well above the actual screen surface, so that if you place this screen side down, you don't have to worry about the screen getting scratched. I'm really loving the hand feel of the Q3 silicone case. It's so grippy, it doesn't feel like it can fall out of my hand at all. But one thing I did notice is it does have a tendency to pick up, dust and lint and things like that due to the build. But of course, that's a small price to pay for just how grippy and how sharp this looks. And here's what the other color looks like in the Q3 silicone case. I still think I prefer the dark blue a little bit more personally. I'll install the Q3 Air case next. So again, we'll start in the very top corner, press it down on all four corners, and we're done. The Q3 Air case also looks super sharp on the iPhone 17 Pro Max, again in this kind of dark blue matte type of color. And the hand feel is just as good. Now it's not as grippy as the silicone case, that's to be expected, but it's still very grippable compared to a lot of cases I've used. Now if we do a side view, you can see that the rear camera bezel does extend out enough to protect the 3 lenses at the back if you place this flat down. And we also have kind of raised printed elements here that also help with grip. Now if we take a look at the side, we have the power button. You can see very responsive if I press that on or off. And then we also have the camera button, so I could just double click that, quick launch, go ahead and take photos, zero issues at all using that. And I can also go ahead and, just kind of slide through to switch between the different lenses, very responsive. The volume down and volume up buttons are also very responsive, same with the ringer or quick action button. The cutouts at the bottom are also very precise, so the speaker grill and USB Type-C port are completely unobstructed. The front screen bezels are also thick and raised enough so that if you were to place the phone screen side down, you don't have to worry about the screen getting scratched. We also have those air cushion shock absorbing corners using their Air Protect technology so that if the phone lands on the corners, it's going to be protected. This is what the orange version of the Q3 Air looks like. Let me know which color you guys think looks best and if you prefer the silicone or the Air case. It's extremely easy to swap out or switch buttons, and here's what the blue case looks like if you wanted a more seamless look instead of the orange button. I dropped the phone with both cases from a height of about 3.5 feet, and there was no damage to the front or back. Now, the Q3 Air case is rated for drops up to 12 feet or about 3.6 meters, thanks to that Air Pro technology and the very thick bezels. Now, the Q3 silicone case is rated for drops up to 8 feet or about 2.4 meters, thanks to the thick bezels on it. So you'll have great all-around protection with both cases. The built-in kickstand is perfectly implemented in these cases, so when you do a side view, it stows away super flush, and anytime you need to use it, you just put your finger here, pull it all the way down, and you can see I can use this for both vertical or horizontal viewing. And it's a rock solid experience. So if I go ahead and bang the table, you can see the phone's moving, but the kickstand is not collapsing. So you can rest assured that you're going to have a secure orientation whenever you use this. And in addition to just pulling the kickstand out, you can actually rotate it in multiple type of orientations. So you can hear these kind of hard stops. So you have basically endless options or opportunities to just kind of angulate this however you see fit. You still retain the ability to use Magsafe charging and Magsafe accessories with a super secure hold thanks to the strong N52 magnets on here. If you're wondering how strong the magnetic hold is when using a power bank or any type of Magsafe charging or accessory, you can see if I shake the phone up and down or even kind of upside down, it's really not going anywhere. But if I go ahead and just lift it from the top, you can see the kickstand coming out a bit, but then it snaps back into place. And most of you are not going to be shaking or bumping your phone as kind of aggressively as I'm doing. So for most of you, it's not going to be an issue. The one drawback of this case is that while I was able to magnetically mount it to some surfaces, on a lot of other surfaces, the phone would slide or slip. So I'm not confident recommending this for magnetic mounting. There's also zero wobble with both the Q3 silicone and Q3 Air case, which is very impressive. So the TORRAS Q3 Air and Q3 silicone cases provide top-notch protection. They look great and feel very grippy in the hand with good fitment. You get a versatile built-in 360-degree spinning kickstand for vertical or horizontal use, easy and secure Magsafe charging and Magsafe accessory use. There's zero wobble at all. It's just a great case overall. So if you're interested in picking up your very own TORRAS Q3 Air or Q3 silicone case, I'll leave links down below, and if I have any type of coupon codes, I'll leave those down below as well. Also, consider checking out my other iPhone 17 Pro Max case reviews, and consider liking and subscribing because I have more case reviews coming soon. While you're at it, check out this video next and maybe some of my other tech reviews, because I also review earbuds, headphones, keyboards, mice, and more, and I really hope you'll join me again soon.